Hi, everybody. Welcome to the QB School. I am JT O'Sullivan. Today, Brock Purdy, the Niners on the road, week one, big win, locked in, fired up. Let's get it going. Welcome to the QB School. Before we dive into the video, a quick reminder about the Quarterback School Patreon community. This group is the foundation, the bedrock of the channel. Not only is it a great, inexpensive way to support the channel, but you get even more Quarterback School content. So hop over there, join, become a member. I appreciate your support. As for this video, let's get into it. Brock Purdy, the Niners, getting it going early. Beautiful first drive here. Once Pearsall figures out what route he has, we're going to end up hitting Kittle up top in the flat as the number 3. Just way too far for that safety to come down. Throws a little bit inside, but certainly more than good enough. Third medium execution. Really like here. Post shift, short motion. You're essentially getting kind of 2 natural picks for Kittle out there. Now, certainly a bummer injury-wise for Kittle, but early in this game, you can see how they get there shift-wise. Now, that Pearsall action down here is not a shift. He just doesn't know what he has. But once we get lined up, 3 by 1, and then understand the short motion here of this. So as we come down in motion here, we're essentially going to get glorified picks as Kittle's able to come out here and just run into the flat on third medium. And again, the defender coming from the heavens, right, from way down here, that's just too easy. You get a little bit of lowercase a anticipation from Purdy. Nice, easy flat route. So he throws that thing right there. Boop. Kittle's not quite out of it yet. Again, when you play with anticipation like this, not every ball is going to be perfect. It doesn't have to be because the timing is just elite. And again, the guy's got a 12-yard cushion. Beautiful job. Nice, easy, simple throw. Again, always love the base from Purdy. You know, doesn't have to right here, but just a Purdy things as far as timing, anticipation, decision-making. Love it. Next one here, another third down. Start in 3 by 1 open bunch, get to 2 by 2 open. We're going to end up hitting the seam down here to the bottom to the number 2. Pearsall wide open, right on the logo. This is a beautiful job being able to execute this thing going right to left for Purdy. Again, probably, if not comfortably, the best processor out there. You know, whether him's going right to left or him seeing that pre-snap and just being able to hold his eyes down the middle of the field, it's a thing of beauty. Now, what's going on here coverage-wise gets a little bit more complicated. You can see the safety up top talking to the corner. Anytime I see stuff like this, it's usually a pretty good indicator that you're getting split field coverage. So as they talk to each other, they're essentially sorting out what they're going to do with these 2 eligibles. So inevitably, I think of that as split field coverage, meaning they're playing one coverage potentially over here, one coverage down here. I would classify this as brackety up top, how this thing sorts itself out. And then down here to the bottom, I would think of this as more traditional zone. So whether this is a half field player, a palms, quarters, cloud player, it doesn't really matter. What matters here is this nickel or star gets no reroute, no hands-on. So as we're able to come up this seam, there's all this space over here because the safety has so much depth. We get no reroute, and we're able to attack the middle of the field. So just a very nice job design-wise. Again, I'm going to be pretty critical of this drop back game historically. This is beautiful right here. Again, you can see the safety up top. Watch the safety turn and play the number 1. So he's playing the vertical of number 2 most likely to that number 1. He's never coming back across the field. Well, when we don't get a reroute here, we're just able to let the number 2 run vertically up the field. It's going to put a lot of stress on the safety. Purdy keeps a wonderful base, drives it down the field. Now just pretend that the star did get depth or hands on here. If that wasn't there, this is probably number 2, and then that's a pretty good option right there for a first down as well. Everybody gets a first down here to the bottom of the screen. So just a beautiful job design-wise, play calling, execution, Purdy delivering the ball down the field like a strike. Again, I think of Purdy as an elite second-level thrower. So those kind of sails, in-breakers, seams, great touch, just a beautiful kind of, Kevin Costner 7-iron type, let it rip, beautiful. Next one here, little Shanny special, naked keeper world, move the launch point, move the pocket. If you stop your feet as a quarterback, it's your responsibility to get the ball out. This, to me, Pearsall-wise, is supposed to be what a lot of people would call like a drag or just a different way to get to the flat. I would bet that he just kind of takes the artist's approach here and goes what should be this traditionally, if you watch the channel enough, you know that on these naked or keepers, I usually say there's something in the flat, something in the over, and from a condensed formation like this, something to the corner. Well, how we get there are the decisions of how the offensive architecture of it. From this kind of alignment or formation, I would say oftentimes you'll get this sneak or slide flat back the other way. I would bet a lot that this is that route and he runs it on this side of the line of scrimmage. So it's like that zero drag down the field. The problem here is the second level defender is underneath that. So then he takes the freedom and the liberty to kind of drift this thing and just create space. Like, this is just being a football player, in my opinion. Now, what that does is it kind of gets into the space of the over here, but it doesn't matter if you hook it up. And again, when you make the decision that this is how we're going to get to the flat, you're inevitably going to deal with a lot of traffic. I love the fact that you have a wide receiver that becomes that first read, but dealing with that kind of traffic is a problem. So you can see here, he can't get through in between the first and second level, has to go around, and then that essentially creates that over kind of layering and spacing that probably not intentional, but works out. And again, Purdy, I just never get tired of watching his base as he plays. It's quick, it's sudden, he's got great touch, good decisions, it's beautiful. So when you see those kinds of things, especially from this kind of hookup with, when you ask Purdy now to go out there and essentially playing, not fully loaded or not fully, the full Avengers out there anymore, plays like this, throws like this, I love to see. Next one here, beautiful hookup to Kittle. He's the number 2 up top. We're going to fake that toss, rip it back to Kittle. Now, this is kind of a tight window throw, and this is a gnarly shot from the end zone. Not easy to complete this kind of ball, wrap it around that linebacker before that safety. And again, they're certainly going to miss Kittle. This dude's a freak and has been a freak for a long time at the tight end position. I really like this design. So we're going to fake this toss. We're going to bring our buddy from Cabo across, and he's not only going to fake like we're going to run this way, he's then going to turn into the personal protector on that balloon or that kind of glorified one-person screen as the check down. Now, the intent of the play here is to get the second level of the defense to react to this play action and then get sucked up, and then we're going to run right behind him with that kind of over and then kind of replacement route right behind it. And again, the thing that I love here from Purdy is he drives the ball before the safety. And as this linebacker, there's 3 guys in this kind of window to drive this thing. But again, the play action game has never been an issue for the 49ers. They've always been able to get crafty like this. But again, look at Purdy. Great base, got the torque to drive. Your boy all world taking an L inside there. But man, that is beautiful from 13. So no. I mean, when he lets that thing go, again, that's anticipation, right? He's throwing him into this window, and you can see the safety coming down. That's tight. Right on him. Hell yeah. Next one here, touchdown pass to Kittle up top. He's the number 2. Just a quick out or flat, and that's too easy. It's great anticipation. You caught a little bit of the safety guessing that Kittle was going to come back in underneath on that kind of Texas angle follow trail route that you see a lot of teams run. But this is a beautiful job. First, we're just going to appreciate it from Purdy's standpoint. I'll pause it right when he's going to release it. So as he taps it to release it, like, that's anticipation. I'm not going to draw an A because I could draw an A 5-10 times on this video, but that's anticipation to the front pylon. It's beautiful, right? Kittle's not out of that thing. Drive it, strike right on the body on the break. Now, what happens here defensively is, again, they're just playing this too far from the line of scrimmage. So as we release inside here, and the corner's running with him, this corner's actually in pretty decent position. He hops outside here. Now, the problem is he kind of stops his feet because he's anticipating, he's guessing that as Kittle comes out here, he's going to come back in like that on that little trail follow short post route. But he just simply comes out here and just runs a nice, easy, flat, quick out, and it's wide open. So again, watch that safety come down out of the roof. And again, you're playing pretty deep in the end zone here. And that little hesitation, just that little hesitation, like he's going to get picked, he's going to cut back inside. Nope, just out into the flat. And it's beautiful execution from 13. 85 makes it look easy. Good enough pass pro, ball on him, touchdown. Hell of a drive. Next one here, third medium. We're going to end up getting a throwaway here. I'm not going to say that I'm a rules expert by any means. Maybe I don't understand how guys have to get outside the pocket. Maybe they thought he was throwing it to McCaffrey, so it's not a throwaway. But that's pretty close to a penalty. I think this thing gets a little away from us in the middle of this game. And I will say, watching this film, there's not a lot of space down the field. And again, I understand we're not at full strength, or we're not what we used to be on the perimeter. Whatever this is, this looks like where we're trying to get the ball here. Let's just pretend that this is a choice route. Like, you get some time at the line of scrimmage, you get up. Most teams will allow you to run in. You can settle up or run out. I don't think this is what this is, but let's just pretend that it is. And the reason I don't think it is because we've got like a hook or curl behind it. So you wouldn't be able to just settle up here. But this release, whatever this is, it takes forever. Then we're up into this. This takes forever. So if this is where the ball's supposed to go, we're ready to throw, and we're not even close to being open. Now, it gets open eventually, but the timing of the drop back game here is just not what it needs to be. So watch Jennings down here in the slot. See him kind of like whatever off the line of scrimmage. He's dancing, moving again. I mean, he slow releases, then he resets his stem, gets vertical, and then he comes out of it. Well, Pearsall's running a 12-yard hook. He's out of his break. He's coming out of his break before the flats open. What? Huh? That ain't it, bro. So we got no chance here. We take a big hit, get a little lucky, no flag, because that's essentially a blind throwaway. And so it's just not there, drop back wise. Oh my God. Next one here, big play action, sack. Okay, we're going to get hit. Free runner, essentially. This is tough on McCaffrey. Now, McCaffrey's probably as smart of a football player at any position as there appears to be in the league. He certainly knows who he's supposed to block. It doesn't mean that he can make the block every single time. I will say, I know on many videos on the Patreon community, I've gone into significant depth about, what these condensed formations do to a defense. And there's a lot of positive things they do to a defense. There really are. The problem offensively, especially in the pass pro world, is there's essentially 10 guys who could blitz you here. So you have to be really locked in on who's who in the zoo. So this certainly looks like McCaffrey's guy. If you're blitzing from this side on a play action where you have to fake on that side, most teams would tell you to abort that fake and just go block him. The problem is you don't always know that he's going to blitz when you're into it. Now you're on the other side of the quarterback, and now you've got to come back and block somebody in the A or the B gap, and it's really tough. And it's tough for the best player in the league. So again, you want to be in condensed formations? Everybody's in condensed formations nowadays. This is some of the issues that come with it. Free runner, sack, you have no chance. So you're like, what happened in the why are we struggling? Why is it not the same? Well, they're really good on defense. But again, you can see McCaffrey. He knows he's trying to get back the other way, but he's already on the other side for the fake. And you can't be like, oh, why doesn't the guard block him? Well, we've got a zero nose, and we've got the two bigs on this side fanning out to the two guys that get paid to rush the quarterback. So it's just, it's the downfalls of those condensed formations sometimes. Next one here, beautiful play with Jennings down here at the bottom. He's going to see the corner blitz. They're going to hit that. I'll call it a side adjust. You call it a corner cat adjustment, whatever you want down here to the bottom turns into like a quick smoke for them. So the execution here on bringing the quote unquote 4-week or corner blitz from the boundary, a few things about corner blitzes. I think historically they're almost always going to come from the short side of the field, so the boundary side. I think inevitably the higher percentage is if this is their sideline, like your opponent's sideline, it's even more likely. But you have to have a plan. So once he blitzes here, what are we supposed to do? A lot of teams will do a skip off. You can do like a quick smoke, a one-step hitch. It's beautiful. It doesn't mean you're always going to get a first down because it's third medium, but I just love the ability. He sees it, they execute it. Even McCaffrey sees it and tries to take the hit off, even though it looks like he slips. If we were to just play this out straight, you probably hit the double stick up top for a first down. It's just a really high level, great execution, excellent base, quick, decisive, ball out, first down. Hell yes. Next one here. This is a hell of a play from your boy. Hook him up. Talk about this at the VRBO in Cabo. Thing is beautiful to the fullback, out the backfield. Now, I think this play is so good. Part of the reason it's so good, I'm going to say this is an accident. Like, I don't think, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I don't think Juszczyk is supposed to chip 58. Although it looks like he kind of does there on purpose. I will default and say, if he is designed to chip the defensive end, this is world-class, elite offensive architecture play design. Elite. It doesn't, in fact, I would say it doesn't get better. So what I'm saying here is, from the backfield, we're going to get up here and get into this wheel space. That in and of itself is very cool. Okay, you couple that with everything else here. We'll call this an in. Deep post here. You add the play action element of this, so the cross action coming across. The play action part of this offense has always been great. What I'm saying here is this ability, whether if we intentionally chip here to then run what I would classify as a second level throw, that's so good because we've got the guard pulling here. So you've got somebody there. So, a bluff is excellent. A chip and then getting into this, I mean, it's pretty special. It really is. Jokes aside. And again, he releases inside. I just can't imagine that's exactly what he wants. I think that might end up being one of those, like, what would it be like? Fall into the zone read type thing where like it accidentally happens and now all of a sudden, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, we did that on purpose. Hell yeah. Because again, one of the characteristics I talk about when I say great offensive architecture, popping guys open. There's no one around us for 10 yards there. That is awesome. Next one here, we're working I'll call it a quick out up top versus press coverage. Now we're going to throw this with great anticipation. The hookup isn't there. I think from a quarterback perspective here, that's not a terrible throw decision. If that's what they're asking you to do, I will just say watching this film, on the perimeter, if it's not play action and we're not kind of like, earmuffs me here, like trick fucking someone, well, it's hard for guys to win on the perimeter. It just is. And so asking a quarterback to make this type of throw, I'll pause it after the shift and the motion. When he throws that thing, not only are we taking an L at left tackle again inside, but he's throwing that thing right there. I mean, look at the coverage. I mean, good luck. The only thing that's going to beat that is world-class anticipation. Now we've certainly got the anticipation here, but the other thing about it is it impacts how fast he's going to come out of that thing. Where do you throw that thing? You certainly don't want to miss it inside, JJ. Even though that throw wasn't that bad, you want to miss it where Brock misses it here. But still, this is tough living. Those are tough hookups. Next one here, I think it was the very next play. Again, drop back world, tight-ish red zone. There's just nowhere to go with the ball, y'all. And this, if this looks reminiscent of what happens at the last play, it kind of is, where he's got to go create and then kind of throw up a half prayer. I mean, this is a chuck up. There's nothing there. We got nowhere to go. Brock's certainly great at extending, and I think it's one of the things he really brings to this offense. But I mean, is that the same corner of the end zone? I think that's to Pearsall. I mean, I'll just pause it at the top. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know what the read is or what this play is. I'll just pause it at the top. You take a peek. Where do you want the ball to go? He's at the top of his drop. Where do you want the ball to go, coach? I know they're good on defense, but what are we doing? So it's tough. And I'm not saying there's a lot of good plays on third down from essentially the 10 in the red zone in the NFL. There aren't. But there's nowhere to go with the ball. That's sticky. So now he's got to go create. And again, when he makes that decision to throw, I'm saying he's throwing it here on the back line, trying to get all the way over to the corner. I'm glad it works out in this game. Don't be shocked when it doesn't at some point. Because those are tough looks. Next one here. We end up hooking up a check down to McCaffrey here. I just love the way that McCaffrey plays this thing. I think of these as like old school check M's. I don't think that's exactly what they're asking him to do here, but man, people just bouncing off of them, easy completions. You know, I would imagine they're going to have to lean into these kind of touches when things are blurry down the field, because there's just not a lot of space. There's not a lot of speed out there, it feels like, for the 49ers on the perimeter right now. And so getting chunks like this is just a beautiful job. So whatever this is supposed to be, and we'll say I call this like a beeline post. Looks like maybe we're trying to get like a deep in here. It's taking forever. It's not there. This little, like, it looks like he just runs and stops and then starts working down as Brock works down. And again, that, you know, IQ off the charts here from this player. I just love the feel of this. I think of old school check M as, and then you kind of like sprawls it downhill, but it kind of works the same way here. But this is just a really nice job getting the ball to your best football player. It's not there on time, up in the pocket, 1, 2, thank you. You know, so many guys would take off there. They would feel that thing open up and just take it, as opposed to saying, hey, that guy gets paid to run the ball. He's also a world-class receiver. I don't have to scramble. Just get it. I know where my check down is. Great awareness from both those guys, and that turns into a big explosive chunk. Halftime, you dig the channel and you haven't already, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, get the notifications. I really do appreciate you subscribing to the channel. It means a lot to me, so thank you for taking the time and doing it. Again, the Quarterback School Patreon community, you know about it. Hop over there, join, become a member, get even more Quarterback School content. We also have Quarterback School courses. You can check out all the courses over at thecubschool.com. Hop over there and enroll. Finally, please make sure to follow me across all the social media platforms. I appreciate your support. As for this video, let's get back to it. Next one here, first of 2 picks. This is tough. Okay, now there's a lot of things going on here. I'm certainly going to make some excuses for Brock here. At the end of the day, you can't throw late like this down the middle of the field. Bad things happen. I think it's there originally. I think that there are a few things that go into it here. So first, I think the sack that I showed earlier in this thing impacts this play, because McCaffrey is faking to the right, but he aborts it and goes to the left. So that kind of screws up the timing for Brock, I can imagine. He's a little confused, like, what the hell's going on? It's a great adjustment from McCaffrey. He's learned his lesson. Now, I will say that I absolutely despise running backs cutting people from the backfield. I despise it. Doesn't mean that people don't do it, people don't teach it, people don't believe in it. It's just my personal opinion, and you're watching my video, so you have to suffer through it. But I will say, if he just played this play normally, so let's pretend like McCaffrey makes the fake, we take the drop, we hit our back foot like he does every other play, perfect base, and throws this thing on time on the deep end. It's a nice chunk, in my opinion. But I love McCaffrey here. He aborts the fake. He's already given up the sack. This time he sees similar pressure here. He's going to go block him. Now, I don't love the fact that he cut him, but if they allow him to cut him, it's their offense. They obviously know what the hell they're doing. Now, the other thing I will say, you know, probably not the best game from Big 7-1. Dude's been world class for a long time. It looks like, I don't know if he's trying to help McCaffrey here by giving him a kickstand or giving him a presence, but really, you know, it doesn't help him. It puts him in a tough position, even post chip out here, to block the edge. And so it's just, it doesn't look clean to me, and I can't imagine that's how they want to do it. But I think at the end of the day, if you're Brock Purdy, you can't hit your back foot and drift. So I would bet a lot of money that this is not the drop we're trying to get. Watch his back foot hit right there, and then he keeps going backwards, hitches backwards 3 times. And now we're late down the middle of the field. So you throw this ball on time down the far hash, it's an easy big chunk. Instead, aborting the fake, not trusting the pass pro, working backwards, being late, now we're throwing a pick. And again, watch the left tackle. See him kind of set for the pressure, like he's a presence, and now he's in trouble on his own guy. So it's one of those things where, you know, again, I've already talked about cutting people like this from the backfield. It's just not for me. I think it's really hard. But at the end of the day, this is a quarterback evaluation video. You can't hit your back foot right there, drift, hitch back, and throw down the middle of the field very often. Bad things happen. That's a bummer ball. Next one here, 4th and short, 2x2 condensed under center, 7-step drop, double middle finger. They make it work. Get your boy Tungus, 89. Have yourself a day. Get some smacked here. I don't have anything nice to say, man. 7-step drop. I have nice things to say about Brock Purdy getting through a 7-step drop read on 4th and short, but I don't know what the fuck you're thinking about. If you're what the intent of this is. Again, 7-step drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nothing's up top is open. Okay, call the Avengers. Maybe Jennings is open in the middle of the field if you were to get back to that as kind of the backside number 3 right there. But we've already thrown a pick down the middle of the field. There's kind of a thief linebacker type hanging there. He goes 1, 2, 3, 4 on a 7-step drop on 4th down and gets it to his who knows what number tight end and gets him smacked because the guy covering McCaffrey comes off and smacks him. I mean, I think I can say good play Purdy. I can't say anything nice about the design, the play call, the drop back game, the decision there, other than the fact that it's a 1st down, good for you. Obviously it works, but man, that's a big shot. That's a massive ask for the pass pro, for the quarterback. Oh, baby. Next one here, 3rd and short in the red zone. We're going to run double stick to the bottom. It looks like it's call it a fade. It's probably like a hitch or quick out adjust up there. He obviously likes that matchup. I'm not sure I love that matchup. Let's just pretend that you do love that matchup. So that's where we want to go. We want to throw a fade on 3rd and short like this versus press man coverage in the red zone. Okay, let's just pretend. I still think you can be able to oftentimes say, okay, I like this pre-snap. It's middle field closed, press man. That's premium pitcher look. Okay, does he win though? Like, does he gap him? Okay, then we throw a fade. Is he stay over the top of us? Okay, then we throw it right at him, back shoulder. If he gets like pressed to the sideline like this, nothing's good. You know what is good? Throwing to the best player on the field on a check down. I don't even care if there's 2 people there covering him. He's the best player on the field. Let's not force it to other guys who aren't the best player on the field. Just get it down to the check down. And I mean, I'm not saying anything that 13 doesn't know. And that's not a win right there. That's getting stuck at the line of scrimmage. And again, these dudes on the perimeter have to get better at the line of scrimmage. They're only going to see more of this in the future because you got to prove that you got some juice out there on the perimeter to threaten people. That doesn't threaten anybody. Next one here, big play action shot. I think we're trying to hit Pearsall up top on what I would call like a fake over or like a Seattle-ish route. I'm not sure, honestly what that is. Actually, I take that back, not a Seattle-ish route. He's trying to sell that over and come back out of it. You don't see a lot of people turn in like that on that route very often. Watch your boy Cabo in the backfield here. I'm not sure what kind of block this is. But 20 down here bails us out with the illegal contact right there. Just decides he's going to check our wide receiver. So it's not there. It sure looks like Brock goes 1-2. I think the reason I put this video on there, besides for the fullback block, was this is a throw you expect Brock Purdy to make. Like this is kind of like air ball and a free throw for him. And maybe not that bad, but the idea being that, as he comes in here, I would say most times you see teams come out like that. In fact, the Packers did it this past week. They ran both guys like this. What I'm saying you don't see normally is at the top of this route, you don't see people turn in like that very often. And again, just this type of touch, second level, intermediate-ish throw, I just think of as a layup for Brock Purdy. Like it's kind of shocking to see him miss it, let alone what I would say is this bad of a miss. Just throws it a little bit up the field. And it was just, you could tell it's different out there. You lose 85, you lose some other pieces on the perimeter, and now things don't look quite as clean. But that's a throw, I think I can confidently say you expect to be better. Now, maybe Pearsall's supposed to take it deeper. I doubt it, though. I don't know how you would be able to turn inside and then take a deeper angle. Next one here, that 7-step drop. Sure as hell it works on this one. Good for you. This is why it's in. You know what the hell you're talking about. This is a hell of a throw. This is a nice route from Pearsall. He gets a little hands to the face, it looks like, right at the line of scrimmage. 7-step drop, under center, corner, down the field. That's a lot of separation. That's a good job. I'm being critical of these guys creating zero separation down the field. Well, watch this route up top. This is real separation. Closed man. The corner probably loses the leverage. He does a nice little move. So there's the hands to the face up top. Watch this move at the top where he leans to the post or the inbreaker. That creates a separation. And Purdy's a believer. Anticipation. Not really. Good enough throw. It's in the bucket. Because 27 does a decent job there catching up and making a decent play on the ball. But that's accuracy beating any sort of coverage. And again, good for you for dialing it up, 7-step drop under center. Next one here, really well executed 4th and short. So we're going to start in 3-by-1, get to 3-by-2. We're going to throw McCaffrey up in the flat. Now you can say, how the hell did he get so open on 4th down? Well, it's the pre-play movement. So it's the shift and the motion. So first the tight end shift, starting 3-by-1. And now we get to 2-by-2. Now we shift to empty, 3-by-2. That makes the star and the safety on the right, just out of the screen, have to communicate how they're going to cover McCaffrey. There's too much space for 4th and 2, and it's just an easy little flat throw. Okay, so that's a lot of word salad to say throw flat McCaffrey. So what I want you to do here is when McCaffrey shifts, watch the star and the safety up top, or the nickel, these two players. So they're communicating how they are going to cover these two players because they're presenting like this is punt block, like zero pressure. So if the defense is going to say, all right, we're going to lock up number 1. He's got man everywhere he goes. Okay, well then how are we going to do this? Well, we're going to come down. We're not going to be at the same level, right? We can't all press, but we need to be tight enough to be able to cover the best player on the field as probably the number 1 read, and they just aren't. He gets too much depth. There's too much space, and that's just an easy little flick. So it's just a really nice job of pre-snap design and then execution post-snap. And you can see him communicating. This is pretty obvious. Okay, me and you, banjo that thing. Okay, I got him. Too far off. Just too far off. Too far off, too easy, first down, let's go. This next one is a close one. So Pearsall in motion here. He's going to run what I call like a speed out off that kind of Tyreek speed motion. This is a hell of a play from 27 now. I will say this is one of the few times where the arm strength of Purdy, you kind of see potentially the limitations of that 7-iron constantly in the intermediate world. It's a strike of a throw. Only they know like exactly what the depths are that they're asking the receiver to get here. But as we're running across here, the ball will say is on the 9. As we're running this speed out here and getting into this thing, the only thing I would say here is if you're being super critical of this route without knowing the depth that they're supposed to get, he drifts a little bit at the very end of this thing. And just that little bit allows 27 to undercut it with his paw. So again, I don't know how they're teaching this. I would say there's guaranteed to be a certain depth that we're trying to get. The ball's at the 9, so probably right damn near past the goal line. And then I would just say we'd want to keep that thing as flat as possible at the top. And again, it'd be better if you had an extra 5 miles an hour on this throw. But see him kind of, as he comes out of the break, so he comes out of the break on the 1 or the 2, and then he drifts up the field. Now, again, if he were to keep it flat, the ball might be a little bit behind him too. I'm not, I understand that. But from a timing standpoint, that's right. Hey, it's all over the film. Just needed that extra juice on the throw. Or, we could have had the wide receiver stay flat, or we could have pushed the ball a little bit more towards the sideline. So lots of excuses to say. Nice play, 27. Next one here, the next interception. We're going to end up throwing kind of a crosser to the number 1 down here to the bottom. This is one of those balls that you probably just shouldn't throw. He certainly has a lot of confidence in these kind of second level intermediate throws that I think he's elite at. This is just never there. And so, easy to say, don't ever throw this, bad decision, late, multiple guys there that could make a play on that ball. You could get your guy hit really hard. Lots of bad things going on here. And, okay, so there's no doubt this is on Brock Purdy. I'm not going to get it twisted at all. Okay, this is a bad decision. And I would bet that the back shouldn't be going behind him. I would bet that we probably shouldn't get jacked as we run over here and or be covered up like a blanket as we run over here and get no separation. Okay, the ball probably should be going to a check down. Okay, and it just is forced. And when you lose some good players on the perimeter, you got some dealing with some injuries, things feel tight, things feel like you got to make a play, you got to fight all those urges to just say, get through the play. It's not there, check it down. Throw the balloon or whatever the thing is to 3 up top. Get a completion, get half back on 2nd and long. Don't throw hospital jump balls down the field late. So it's just one of those things where, certainly don't want these types of things on your film. Felt like there were a few throws in this game that were like this. This one doesn't go the Niners' way. The next one here, throw of the game. Pearsall up top, double move. This is a dot of a throw. Off the little hook and go. I'm not sure exactly why 27 stopped running there. I don't know if he didn't think Brock Purdy could throw it that far or what, but if he keeps running, this is probably a much harder contested throw. But this is a dot. That's a massive play in a huge situation in the game. Just a beautiful job. Big time design, play call. Again, been critical of the drop back for a long time. This type of stuff, double moves, love it. Really off the action that we saw earlier. Was critical of 15 earlier. He kind of took that slow choice release and then ran that flat with the hook earlier. So this is right off that play. So now we double move it and hit it. And again, what 27 is doing here, he's in decent position. When he turns his head back, he just stops running. And the ball, Brock's got the arm to just out throw the coverage. So it's a really nice job of being able to hook up a massive double move. Got him. And again, the corner's looking at Brock. So I love the pump. Got to get it then up and down before the safety can get there. Corner stops his feet, and that is a huge play. Big time. Huge explosives. Pearsall did a great job getting some big yards. That's a huge, huge reception. Next one here, just getting closer and closer to a touchdown. This is classic Purdy. So trying to get the choice to McCaffrey, not there. Backside to the little loop or return route. Now, it's not a perfect throw, but again, there's probably nobody in the league that plays these plays faster than Brock Purdy. So no, boom, back across. It's just outstanding football, man. And it's one of those things that I don't think can be overstated how much the 49ers system relies on you coming up here, whatever this is supposed to be. Okay? It's not there. We then are able to get this loop return back on the backside to say no here, yes here. And again, that's a full field action for the quarterback. So he's got to go no down here to the bottom, yes inside. And again, this is not O-line school, but I just take a peek at the left tackle. Like things are looking harder. Man, that's a great job from Purdy going 1-2 back across the field. No, boom. Quick, sudden, on him. First down, moving the chains. Going to go win this thing. Give yourself a chance. Just super efficient when it matters most. Fourth quarter. Big time ball. Really, really love it. All right, the last one here. We're going to have Brock Purdy doing Brock Purdy things. We're trying to get McCaffrey in the flat up top. It's not there. There's really nothing there. He's got to go extend. This is certainly I would say lucky-ish throw here. This could easily be an interception. Bad things could happen here. We'll talk a little bit about how we get there kind of scheme-wise here. But at best, Purdy's given his guy a chance. Have yourself a day 89. Tonga's in the house. It's a pretty, assuming he's throwing it to 89, that's a wild. That's certainly a jump ball at best, right? It's good when it goes your way. I will say execution-wise here for me up top, we've already seen them have a couple nice hits in the flat in this game. when you're in a condensed formation like this, I would say if this is, let's say that we know what the play is and this is stick up top, you would really love this wide receiver to be able to get in here and get some sort of natural pick rub on whoever he thinks has Purdy. And that just doesn't happen. So when they sort this thing out and he's essentially covered, well, then we don't love stick very often versus man because he's just a mat. He just gets matched to and stays there. We then have essentially nothing coming on the backside. We've got what looks like a swirl or 7-stop over here, not there, whatever this flat is supposed to be. So there's really nothing. So watch this kind of potential rub opportunity up top. Again, he's trying. You can't go out there and debo the guy, right? He's trying to, but the guy does a good job of getting over the top. Now, in hindsight, the 49ers probably wish they had like a Texas or a fan on here for an easy touchdown. But they guessed right. They got him. Nothing else is there. I will say from a scramble perspective, like scramble rules type thing, this is an opportunity for me with 14 down here at the bottom where I would want to see him get closer to the cone, turn upfield, and then come hard outside to the front pylon. Give yourself a little room. To me here, he looks like he kind of doesn't know what he's doing as far as scramble rules because he gets out here and kind of just like opens and falls to the front pylon. I want a really decisive turn your shoulders this way and then turn out and give us some room at the front pylon is how I would want that taught, coached, and executed. So you see how he's giving us, he's trying to right there, but you got to sell that thing vertical and come down hard to the front pylon. That's the throw. He gets there, but he kind of like whirly birds it. And then again, this throw is living on the edge, man. 27 could easily have been the hero there. So that is a wrap. Purdy, the Niners on the road, big win. Don't care how it finished, whether it was a jump ball, got a little fortunate. Regardless, they were able to drive down there, give themselves a chance. Thought that double move to Pearsall was pretty awesome of a throw when it mattered most. That was a big time hookup. Overall, really nice start. Found enough to win on the road versus what I consider a really good defense. Some tough looks there in between. It looks tough out there. The space isn't quite the same for this 49ers on the perimeter as far as what their weapons look like. You get Kittle going down with an injury. Now all of a sudden the plan probably isn't as comprehensive as we need to kind of take advantage of a non-Kittle type offense. But man, you still see some beautiful designs, right? You get your boy Juszczyk going out of the backfield, down the rail, down the wheel. Things of beauty as far as how they use McCaffrey. All those things are going to have to lean into. But overall, week 1, tough win on the road. Brock Purdy living in that anticipation processing world and what he brings to the table as far as extending. Got them the win. We'll see what it looks like moving forward. Thank you so much for hanging to the end. I will see you next time. Have a good one.